So, when you see this, you know it's bad. When you see a game that comes out and it doesn't have any DLC, it doesn't have anything like expansions or whatever, you know it's bad. You know it's bad. Dragon Age the Veilguard will not have any DLC or expansions as BioWare shifts focus to Mass Effect 5. Yeah, but sure, keep telling me that this is a good game. It's so bad they don't even want to make any DLC for it, and they just want to go straight to Mass Effect 5. New report details that BioWare will not be developing any DLC or expansions for Dragon Age Veilguard, but will instead turn their focus to Mass Effect 5. George Yang at Rolling Stone reported on Halloween, with Dragon Age Veilguard now complete, BioWare confirms that there are no current plans for downloadable expansions. So the crappy game you have, that's all you get. Game of the year, guys. The developers' full attention has now been shifted entirely to the next Mass Effect as their current project. A subsequent report by Kat Bailey at IGN did detail that BioWare is not completely abandoning Dragon Age Veilguard following its release, but will support the game with quality of life improvements and a handful of similar content updates. So no real content, just tuning things. Just tuning things. Given that the game will not have any DLC, it calls into question EA CEO Andrew Wilson's bravado surrounding the game recently. During a recent earnings call, Wilson touted the game as the game had breakout potential. He told investors, this is what I mean, Park Place. This is what I mean. What the hell is this? You mean it's an amazing time? Again, proofread your crap. Seriously, you take the time to type it, you can take the time to proofread. Stop. You're tearing me apart, Park Place. Like, seriously, every time I read an article, there's some stupid misspelling or grammatical errors or just something. Just proofread, please. For the love of Lucifer, just proofread. It's an amazing time at EA. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. It's a beautiful day outside. And in 2 days, we will launch Dragon Age the Veilguard. It's been 10 years since we launched its predecessor, Game of the Year winner, Dragon Age Inquisition. That's, again, I've said this before. This is how the game is. It blows. He continued, early critics score. Of course, it's if you're an idiot these days that trusts what the critics say, I've got a bridge I'd like to sell you. Critics are paid for. Early critics are paid for, like IGN, Eurogamer, Polygon, Kotaku. These people are all paid shills. They are paid to jerk these freaking companies off. So of course they're gonna say, "Oh my God, it's a great game, you guys. It's a great game, guys. This game of the year." We expect Dragon Age to be a great example of how our blockbuster. Oh my God, the lies! How can you lie? Our blockbuster storytelling engages and connects fans in truly unique ways. Their idea of good storytelling. Posh sitting down at the table. I'm non-binary. To them, that's great storytelling. I'm gonna kiss you. I can't believe I'm gonna kiss you. Really? Really? That's great storytelling? Get out of here. Cut it out. I don't think anyone makes that reference anymore. But I certainly Word? John, you're stupid. You're stupid. In a Q&A portion of the call, Wilson was asked by Raymond James Financial Group analyst Andrew Marek. Marek? I know a Marek. Marek Ishtar. The pharaoh of the world. I have seen some very strong reviews so far, but as far as you can tell, what drives that kind of game, that kind of breakout success we've seen in some single-player fantasy games in the last couple of years. And how do you feel that the Veilguard might compare along those lines? Well, I gotta say the game is huge. The game is great. We worked so hard. It's a great game. Our team is talented. So many talented people. I can't believe how many talented people there are. It's a great game. We poured our hearts and soul and some blood. I mean, then if that's the way it sounded, it might be believable, but it's not believable. We know the people who are working on this game don't give a crap. It's like we've said numerous times. It's like they went on Tumblr, read a fanfic, and made a fanfic of that fanfic. I certainly think Veilguard has breakout potential with no DLC or expansion. Again, 10 years ago, Dragon Age Inquisition, 10 years ago, gaming is not the same as it was 10 years ago. Just think about that. Gaming, current modern gaming, is definitely not the same as it was 10 years ago. Game of the year, and it was a very strong performer for us in the conduct of our business. This is entertainment. No, this is bullshit. And while much of our business has moved to live service moment to moment, deliver innovation and creativity for a deeply engaged community over the course of time, this opportunity to bring in incredibly high quality creative storytelling set in an amazing world with rich characters. uh, Rich characters. I know you're not talking about the new game. Girl, don't even tell me you talking about the new game. Rich characters. Hey, Roxas, get a load of this shit. Roxas is sleeping back there, so I'm not talking to myself and saying Roxas. No, Roxas is back there. Rich characters living out those stories. You're able to capture that moment in entertainment. Almost success almost certainly follows. He explained. Yeah. And we see that in the context of movies, and we're seeing in context of TV seasons, and we're seeing in the context of video games. When we think about what we have with Veilguard right now, we have a storied studio in BioWare. We have an IP in Dragon Age. We have a team that took extra time to make sure the world was rich and the characters were... Again, why are you lying? The story is bland. The characters. I'd rather eat an entire box of freaking grape nuts with no sugar in it. That is how bland these characters are. These characters are terrible. Nothing about them seems genuine. Nothing about them screams, oh, hey, this is like a real world interaction. The dialogue, again, sounds like it's from a freaking fanfic, like a bunch of fangirls sitting around writing fanfics. It's terrible. This dude needs to stop jerking himself off here. I think we're going into a market that has limited competition for this category of... No, there's plenty. There's plenty. So there you have it. They will not be having any... If you bought this game for like 60, 70, 80 bucks or whatever it was, congrats. Once you finish the game, that's it. That's all you get. That's all you get. No expansion, no DLC, no extra content, no some quality of life upgrades, and that's it. Which by the time they put out those quality of life upgrades and fixes, no one's going to be playing the game anymore. So they might as well not even bother at this point because no one is going to be playing. Yeah, so no one's going to want to play it anymore. No one's going to want to play it. You can't just introduce the game and, oh, well, we're not going to make any more content. So if you guys were expecting content from us in DLC, sorry, we're shifting our gears to, we're shifting our gears to Mass Effect, and sorry, we're gonna tune the game a little bit, quality of life stuff, but no, you're not. If you finish the game, well, guess you can just start a new one. I'm sure those puzzles will be twice as difficult the second time around, because it's so freaking hard to go into an area and see what you need right in front of you and bring it a few feet away to put it where it needs to be to have the door open. Really mind-bending stuff. You're sitting there and you're like, what do we do? What do we do? I see. Do I? No. Is it over the cliff? No. Do I don't know. I'm stumped here, guys. Man, this team's really good at making puzzles. And then 15 years later, you're like, I'm gonna... The door opened! So everything about this game is trash. Everything about this game is trash, and I'm not surprised. I'm really not. We said this game was going to be trash, and everyone's like, you wait till it comes out. And then it comes out, and we see that it's actually trash. So maybe the people who are trashing it kind of know something. We know what games are going to be good and bad at this point, as long as, as soon as we see certain things, we're like, yep, it's done. It's done. Because it's following the same trail and has the same traits as every other game this year that has failed. So you don't need a million IQ to see that this game was going to fail. You don't need an IQ that high to see that this game was going to fail. And the fact that the customization, the character, the creation screen is probably the most fun part of the game. That's pretty bad. When you'd rather sit there and create a character, not even play as that character, but just sit there and create it. It's like you might get through and then you're like, okay, let's start another one. Let's reset the character and see what else. When that's the highlight of the game, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But we're just crazy conspiracy theorists in games here. We don't know what we're talking about when we say a game's going to be bad. Exhibit number, whatever number we're up to this point. It's been so many, it's just I'm not keeping track. But anyway, yeah, there you go. So no DLC, working on Mass Effect 5. And yet everyone's pretty scared. Everyone's like, oh geez, that Mass Effect, oh yikes. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.